Hello, this is Naim Kasuri from Wicked Wonders, and me and Darshan here have a special guest, Shawn Jindal, who plays for USA Cricket under 19. So Darshan, can you get us started off by introducing Shawn and asking him a question?
So, Sean, recently you went on your trip to St. Kitts with USA Cricket. How was your overall experience?
It was definitely a good experience, and I would say it was a lot to learn, good exposure, got to meet a lot of new people, and it was definitely felt like a very professional experience with the setup that we were playing in.
So Shawn, we just wanted to thank you once again for agreeing to be part of this podcast, as it's very hard to get hold of great cricketers such as yourself.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you guys for the opportunity.
Yeah. Okay, so
It means a lot to be on here on Wicked Wonders.
Yeah, thank you. So to ask the next question, so we wanted to ask about your batting performances. So how would you rate your batting performances out of 10, and where did you fall short of your expectations?
Honestly, I would rate my batting performances honestly about maybe 4 or 5, very average. I would say it definitely could have been a lot better. I got some good opportunities and I couldn't quite capitalize on them as I would have liked to, but I'm happy for the way that I approached it and starts that I got.
So I I see what you mean by you're rating it 4 out of 5 and you didn't meet your expectations. But could you give us insight into like why exactly you didn't meet your performances? Like in a technical aspect?
I mean, yeah, so I feel like we also expect we also have high expectations from ourselves to continuously perform. And I feel sometimes putting ourselves in that situation tends to put us in a more difficult situation at times where we underperform ourselves and we don't get to meet our full capabilities. And so I felt like a bit more application could have been applied throughout.
So, Sean, you say that there was instances where you have underperformed in your career, but have there been instances where you have overperformed?
Yeah, definitely. There were a couple instances that coach brought up during team sessions where coach would mention something that I had done well, and just like focusing on the goods, obviously the positives where I did well. Just reminding myself about the things I did well. Honestly, just help you stay positive and motivated throughout the tour.
That's good to hear. So, when we look at your bowling, it looks like you were given a little bit less of an opportunity, which your skill set deserves. So, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's best for the team, what is needed at the time for the team. I feel definitely, like you said, with the opportunities, I could have honestly, I just capitalized a bit more on what I was given. Can't really ask for more. But other than that, I would say there wasn't much offer either in the tournament for us when our batting couldn't quite hold up our end.
Just to shy away from that West Indies tour, just to get an insight on your future aspirations and what your goals might be.
I would say the future goal is definitely to play in the Under 19 World Cup coming up and hopefully Major League Cricket.
That's good.
For sure, Sean, wanting to I want to ask you like a specific question, which I hopefully you can answer for like an audience which is not familiar with cricket. So, could you explain like your variations in bowling and like what type of bowler you are?
So I'm a left arm orthodox spin bowler. So basically, for those of you familiar with baseball, you can kind of associate it with a pitcher who basically throws only a curveball essentially, and he mostly capitalizes on variations like his curveball, his a four seam fastball. Basically, a spinner is somebody who utilizes his variations and doesn't really put a big emphasis on the speed of his delivery, but sometimes uses that as a variation and tries to use more of his turn and turn the ball to rather capitalize on his pitching technique.
Thank you, Sean. That should provide a lot of information about bowling to an audience which does not know what cricket is. And along with that, we should have done this in the beginning. But could you also explain your main role in the USA team and what you specialize in as a bowler, as a player?
So my role is a primary left arm spin bowler and a middle order batsman who the number I usually bat at, it kind of varies based on the situation. At times where the top order can't quite put up a score, I have the role of holding up one end, whereas to in other times when our top order does do well, my role is more of a pinch hitter where I have to go out there and take a big swing and take some risks and put quick runs on the board.
I see. So you're mainly given like the role to like play both sides as a power hitter along with stabilizing the innings for your team.
Yes, essentially.
Would you regard yourself as like a power hitter in the sense that you hit a lot of sixes, or mainly like had like aggressive intent and taking a lot of twos and fours?
I would say my intent mostly stays um, running hard through the wickets, but on days where you feel you're seeing the ball well and you're hitting the ball well, obviously go for those boundaries.
Yeah, I can vouch. You sure are a really hard runner between the wickets.
Yeah, Darshan and I have some good memories spending some time out there.
Okay, so I wanted to shift the focus away from you, and I wanted to gain your insight into Darshan's performances. So could you give me one weakness and one strength of Darshan's batting?
One strength of Darshan's is definitely his calmness at the crease, and one weakness would definitely be his pull shot.
So Darshan, what would you have to say about that to improve?
Yeah, I think those are two valid points. I just have to keep working hard and improving on my pull shots.
So
Darshan is definitely a great cricketer, though, in my opinion. One who I have been spending a lot of time with recently, and I'm definitely very happy to represent the Houston hood with him.
So, Sean, for the last few minutes that we have left with you, so I wanted to ask some more questions away from the cricket field, such as your diet. So, what type of food do you normally eat on a daily basis in order to hit those sixes?
So I honestly just eat a bunch of food. Like I eat a lot of everything. I don't really have a super strict diet, but I would say I obviously look for good protein in my daily diet, and I tend to try to eat cleaner food. And my parents are both vegetarians, so I usually do end up eating cleaner food. But I eat a lot of food.
So, Sean, on an earlier question, I asked your future aspirations. One short-term tournament coming up for you is the minor leagues, which is the first level of professional cricket in the USA. So, what are your expectations and aspirations in that tournament?
Yeah, definitely. It's a good opportunity going into the tournament, and especially my first year being part of the setup. I would say my goals are definitely to hopefully get a couple games in this season and really make a name for myself out there and show others what I'm capable of doing.
Yeah, that's good. And then I think your goal was also to play in the U19 World Cup. I think having a solid minor league season will also put a good stand up there and then, like slap the selectors in the face.
Definitely. Thank you. And I hope the same for you as well, Darshan.
Oh, much appreciated.
Okay, so last two questions. So, one question is, what would you recommend for a player who's just getting into cricket about like the bat which they should be using? And what bat do you use as a player, which you would recommend to professional type players?
So, to somebody starting off the game, I wouldn't say to really worry too much about the kind of bat they're using, rather the technique and what they're actually trying to do. Because essentially, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how great of a bat you have; it's about the batsman, as Darshan said. But professional players, I mean, there's not much I can say to them. I feel like everyone has their own preference on the kind of bat they use. But to a pro player like Darshan, I would tell him to always use a lighter bat. Because Darshan swings too hard with his heavy bat.
I think one company that has really good bats is called Blow Sports. based in Dallas, Texas. So go check it out, guys.
All right, Sean, I wanted to thank you again as we're concluding this podcast because it was hard to find you and to invite you to this podcast, but I'm super grateful that you joined.
Thank you.
Thank
Can't
you.
wait. See you guys.
See you guys.